Good evening from wherever you are watching me. I want to in a special way welcome you to my YouTube channel. In case you are new here, kindly consider to subscribe. I'm yours truly, Okomo_1. I have been having a lot of issues discussing all through, and today I have decided from this command center to speak to you, my dear teacher. I know God has given you this rare opportunity of becoming an instructor to the young ones in various institutions of learning. But I don't take this for granted, and therefore I want to salute you for accepting this noble duty. As said earlier, in most colleges of learning, we've been told that teaching is a very noble profession. And it is true. It will always be that way. In the scriptures, the Bible says, "Friends, let not all of us be teachers, for teachers will be harshly charged." I don't know why teachers will be harshly charged, but it's good for us all to reminisce on this judgment that will one day come to the teachers. This gives me reason to reason with you that a teacher is the only old person in a classroom situation. A teacher is the light of the world to the young children who have not known the world. Therefore, the government gives that rare opportunity for every individual who is an adult to find an opportunity to be amidst these youngsters so that he or she can illuminate this light with the young minds which are very feeble and require our assistance. It takes the government, it takes the village, it takes the society to train up teachers. Therefore, once you've learned that you are a teacher, consider it a blessing, and that you should teach the society the norms, the values, so that at the end of it all, the same society can reciprocate by behaving in order and behaving with a lot of discipline. Some time back when I was in college, one of my lecturers told us that if you find a society where there are a lot of drunkards, if you find a society where there are a lot of thieves, if you find a society where there is a lot of disorder, then blame the teachers because they did not do their noble duty amicably well. It can be true, because if you live in a society that does not have a school, then for it that's a rotten society. But funny enough, there are a lot of cases in the courts today, which are some juvenile, some criminal cases, some are civil cases, some are rank disputes. All these emanate from societies where we come from, and we are teachers. Therefore, my dear colleague teachers, wherever you are, I just want to take this opportunity to reminisce together with you on the core functions of a teacher in our various institutions. I know, as already stated in my other videos, that education is the acquisition of skills that makes people who are very young, that is, boys and girls, to become reputable and remarkable ladies and gentlemen. That if we don't teach these youngsters to get these values, chances are we'll have killed the society. But today, I want to think of a topic about teachers and teachers alone. It's not about teaching, because teaching is a profession which is very noble, and you will be guided on how to teach. You understand right now, for example, here in Kenya, we have what we call competence-based curriculum, which has got a lot of involvement. And I believe you've been retooled for the same so that you acquire the requisite skills. But today I want to talk on a life of a teacher. Do you realize, for example, here in Kenya where I come from, that teachers to be employed, they don't just get employed for free. You must have tidbits that show that you are a requisite teacher, a remarkable one. One, you must be in a possession of a clearance certificate from police, that is, certificate of good conduct, to show that you have not involved yourself in any criminal or a civil case, that you do not live in a corrupt world. Therefore, you must have gone through all the necessary transformation in terms of your pocket understanding. That's your wallet. Therefore, you must have been cleared with the CRB, that is the credit reference bureau. You must also have other certificates that make you a good teacher. But once you have them at your fingertips, that does not make you a teacher immediately. For you to start earning in Kenya, you must be patient enough. Nowadays, we have a tablet, I think, or a way they tabulate the way you have graduated up to where you are. I mean, you must have graduated, waited for a while. In the olden days when I got employed, I remember here in Kenya, the government used to employ teachers upon finishing college the second and third year. But nowadays, because choices have got consequences, we have been waiting for quite long a time. I remember in a particular duration, teachers used to finish 5 to 6 years for them to be employed. Now, this time, I know with the new emancipation of a new government, we have a policy of employing Kenyan teachers, which is so much welcomed by many teachers. However, it has come with its own share. Most of the teachers are interns. And the internship has actually gone to 2 years. That is according to the government policy, which keeps on changing from time to time. However, even if you are in internship, patience pays. I believe sooner than later, all the teachers who have an opportunity in the internship classes will end up getting the P&P, to mean permanent and pensionable. But allow me say or cascade this to you, my dear colleague teachers, that teaching, in as much as you are waiting to be permanently employed, does not mean the end of the world. You can do other side hustles that can help you to have a disposable income. The economy is fighting, and every teacher, even if you move from staff to another staff, you will find teachers crying foul that they do not have enough and sufficient funds to drive the economy. Therefore, it is high time at wherever point you are to sit down and ask yourself into a meeting, or call yourself into a meeting, and reminisce on the aspect of economy. We cannot have sufficient pecuniary gains if we don't sit down and budget on the time that we have, because the government eats most of our time, spending almost 10 to 11 hours a day. So when you go back home, you're already exhausted. So it's good that if we find an opportunity, you sit down and organize your time in one, so that time will create at the end of it some pecuniary gain. Therefore, what am I trying to say? When you got employed in Kenya, chances are you will be almost 30 or around 30 years. That means you'll have 30 more years to work or service the government. And by the time 30 years are over, you'll have been properly wasted. You will not have enough energy and the synergy to start a new business. So it is good to sit down and ask yourself, what is it that you can do even after retiring? So most of us tend to assume that 30 years is a very long time. I want to confirm to you that nowadays, days learn just like a night dawn into a morning. Therefore, you can compare where you were in the last 10 years. You might find that you have had nothing, or you might have had just but a very small change. Therefore, wherever you are, I ask you to kindly sit down and think on what you can do, so that the 30 years, or the 25 years, or the 24 years, or even the 32 years, which you are going to service the government, are going to be beneficial both to you and to the entire society where you come from. I know teachers, in as much as you don't understand this, that once you are not employed but you are trained, everybody else knows that you don't have cash. But once you have been employed, everybody else knows that now cash is flowing. Therefore, you become a cash cow. You must help your family, which helped you to be where you are. You must help your own family, which you have created, that is, you've been married, and therefore you have 2 or 3 children. Some go to an extent of having 6 or 7 children. Nonetheless, I want to congratulate you, but you must save that family. You must also be in the social family where you belong to a particular church or a particular chama. You must ensure that in that chama you contribute. You don't contribute 100 shillings. Some chamas, you contribute up to 5,000. And what is a teacher earning? If you are in job group K, definitely your basic starting capital or starting scale is around 35,000 or 36,000, around there. That's not enough money because you must also live in the statutory legal issues that deals with tax. So you must pay as you earn. Another aspect that you find yourself wallowed in without knowing is that you will find yourself to have joined the insurance companies. You must also join a SACCO, which is good. You must also join, the local chamas, which most of us have been finding ourselves in. I don't say that they are bad. They are good because you are anticipating for a good future. But have you learned that if you have no enough disposable income, and as much as you are saving a lot, or taking much to the bank, because there are issues we call bank loans. When you have bank loans which are deducting a lot of cash from you, chances are that you will end up having very low disposable income, hence unable to fend for the issues that affect you on a day-to-day basis. Teachers, colleagues, friends, wherever you are, I know you spend money to travel, you spend money to even eat in some of the institutions where you come from, so you must contribute. This contribution, unless you sit down and tabulate it into an uncountable figure, it will be very hard for you to reach your ends. Therefore, what are you supposed to do? Call yourself in a proper meeting today. Look at how you can cascade down the 30 years ahead of you, so that you live amicably with little or no problem with your finances. Because if you don't have enough resources, chances are even your family will not be stable. If you go for loans here and there, the way some of us put it, chances are you will be unstable economically and people will look at you with a lot of disdain. Therefore, what are you supposed to do as a teacher who has either married recently and you are 2 to 3 years of employment, or you have a family which is now bulging? You know, when you are young, you are like a young river. When you are single, immediately married and get employed, you become so excited until you can have enough time, and those resources are used to even entertain your friends. But do you know, you do that because you don't have a lot of engagements with your cash. But as you grow, this young river becomes loaded with other estuaries and tributaries. Hence, you start now getting loaded. You will get the loading from your in-laws, you will get the loading from your own family, you will get the loading from the workplace, you even get the loading of the social setup, that is the church where you come from, the chama where you are involved, or even in the funeral which are in the local, and the teachers are actually found everywhere. So you will have started getting loaded. And if you did not have a side hustle, chances are you will end up becoming as an object or a subject of scorn. And the people will be looking at you with a lot of disdain from around the society. Therefore, my dear colleague teachers, some of you at this time don't even disturb your families. You find that somebody is married, makes the wife to go away in the name of separation or divorce, and at the end of it all, you start up again, thinking that the time factor is going to be constant. Remember, in any change that you do, time is changing you a lot, from a young man to an old man. And soon even your hair will be white, and you will be rendered effortless. You will be rendered somebody who is like a zombie. I mean, you have nothing to do. Therefore, what are you supposed to do? Sit down and understand that teaching has 3 phases. Phase number 1, there is the planting time. Planting is when you get employed, when you marry, have your first or second child, or third child for that matter, and that these children are very young, your wife is very beautiful. Sometimes when she dresses, you keep calling her, oh my beautiful queen. You call yourselves names which are so good, oh babe, sweet honey. these are the times we can call the times of planting. But once you have planted, you must make sure that you weed your garden. So the garden of teaching profession starts to be weeded when you start paying school fees. When you start attending your relatives' funerals who are now facing out because you are facing in. This is the time you have to ensure that you are in the development department or committee that is now making your church grow or the society where you come from. This is the time you need to be light to the society so that you help succeed the land which your father or grandfather did not succeed. So you become a lead team leader in the succession process, which, by the way, the rest of the society will back you up by telling you you are the teacher, and then you lead the course. Then it will eat you seriously. This is the time you now need to think about saving. You start saving the little cash that you get. This is the time you need to start other projects. This is the weeding time. You have already planted, now you are weeding. It comes a time now when you have to harvest. This is the time now you will be in your late 40s and the early 50s towards retirement. This age is marked by envy and greed. If you happen to be a leader somewhere, maybe in a school, you are now a principal, or you are a deputy principal, or you are in a position of authority, you can be able to take that remaining amount. Sometimes you tend up to be selfish because you are realizing that time is running out and you have not built a home for you, you have not bought land like other gentlemen have done, you have not done much, you have not taken the child to school, therefore you want to use that amount to salvage your own self, albeit late. So what am I meaning? When you reach this time and you find that you have not thoroughly prepared yourself, chances are you will start living in despondence and depression. So before you are depressed, before you are despondent on what's happening ahead of you, my dear colleague teachers, wherever you are, I'm reaching you in a very soft and amicable way. That you sit down, organize your financial and pecuniary gains, so that as you grow, you don't have a lot of I wish I knew, which is always thought to be a thought of fools. Chances are that even those young children used to teach, those young children you used to even fight because they are late to school, those young children you used to look at with a lot of disdain are now even driving. And maybe you have not even bothered to be where you are supposed to be. So you meet them, some of them will even post pictures on the social media and ask you, mwalimu wa maths, hapa ni wapi? Mwalimu wa geography, hii ni nini? You said we are going nowhere. Where are we now? And some of them will be abroad doing a lot of issues. What might have cost you not to improve? So I want you to cut down the size of your bride and understand that bride goes before a fall. And that if people look at you with a sense of admiration today, it is a day people look at you with disdain. Kindly humble yourself, for the Bible says in the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 5, that blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So for you to inherit this earth, you must be humble to the core. How do you now improve? Number one, sit down and see what you can do. Start small, don't wait for a lot of money to be there. Number two, whenever you go for a loan, don't go for long-term loans. This is out of experience, because if you go for long-term loans, you will become a slave of those banks for a very good length of time. Go for a short-term loans, 6 to 8 months, 6 to 12 months, those that are disposable easily so that you get enough cash to plan for another project. I have learned in my service as a teacher also that if you take $1 million from the bank, in as much as you have planned a lot about it, 300,000 or 200,000 will not be on the budget table because you have eaten thinking it is not going to be finished. Therefore, take small amounts, albeit small, but remember, the journey of 1,000 miles is started by the first step. That is the first step. So do it, but systematically and sustainably, so that you can be able to realize a lot of outcome. Number three, you can think of investing, but invest in treasury bills. This will give you money within 3 months. Because if you invest in treasury bills or premium bonds, the way some of us call them, the chances are that the government will always take your money and they use it for doing some development projects, which at the end of it all will translate to an interest within 3 months. But remember, the treasury bills mostly take huge capital. So therefore, you can even go for a loan for 1 year of let's say 150,000, go to the bank again and ask them to enlist you in the treasury bills. By so doing, you'll be able to plow back interest within 3 months successfully, and you can use that interest if you are not ready with the money to do what we call a compound interest. So it means that money will give birth to its own money again, so that by the time you are done with 10 years or 11 years, you'll find yourself being in a good place. Another option, you can go for insurance companies. Go there and insure your money in life assurance. By so doing, you'll be sure that in case of uncertain demise, chances are that those you take care of will be taken care of amicably. So you find that a teacher has been in the service for almost 12, 13, 14 years, but has never saved anything. The money comes, the money goes. The money comes, the money goes. You might think that our pockets have developed the holes. Therefore, for you not to live in this quagmire of economic strife, just sit down, because things are wrong from the economy side. And let me tell you, this is a fact, of course, across the world, that if you don't have cash, even the family will never attribute respect to you. It will never show honor to you. They know that you are always a vagabond, you are a beggar, you are a sluggard, you are a zombie. Call them all the adjectives. But for you to gain that accolade of respect and honor, you must sit down and sit down well. So what do I do just in case I had gone for a long-term loan and that it is way far before I realize economic muscles? This is my advice to you. Look for a side hustle. You can decide by taking care of livestock. Just buy one cow. It is possible. Look for somebody out there to help you money to while you are at school. You can even decide to begin with chicks if you are in the rural setup. Chicken produce very fast, and at the end of it all, you'll find yourself having enough. Nowadays, one cock goes at 1,500. Suppose you have 20 of them. That is 30,000. So you can create a lot of income very fast. Another option is still farming. You can decide to do farming. For example, where I come from, they are green. The land is green and there is plenty of rain for every now and again. Can't believe you want to mine. Dare this farming, as much as it is capital intensive. You will begin like you don't know, but you will end up being yours. This will help you even pay for the school fees in case you have not been able to do that. But if you wait and wait to take loans and upon loans, because it also depends from the staff where you are. Some staffs don't talk economics. There are some staffs you will go, in case, instead of you growing, you die. There are some staffs which have people who are very scornful. Teachers are very unique human beings. But there are still some staffs you will go and start to improve, even in the investment way. You can buy land, build even rental houses, which will in turn give you a comeback of that amount. So you find somebody has gone for a very big loan of, let's say, 700,000, 800,000 to 1 million. But that same amount is used just to build a house where you need to sleep. That is sleeping money. Use that money to buy land, elevate one full plot, and then the rest you can use to raise some 2-3 structures which will give you 5,000 shillings a month. By the end of it all, you will realize that you have some cash flow which will help you now to build your own house thereafter. So instead of going for a loan to buy land and you have nothing to do on that land, go for a loan that can buy land and build and build a single structure next to an urban center. That will help you sustain your life in the near future. chances are, dear colleague teachers, and wherever you are, that if you don't sit and think positively, you might end up squandering even the little that you earn. I know, colleagues, sometimes you get 20, 30,000 or 10, 11, 15,000, depending on how you have cut your pay slip. But some of us have a tendency that once I use my money, once I get my money, I'm going to do ABC, but you find that you are biting a little, thinking that you are going to realize your project when you have bit little by little. You'll find that you have lost. So what you do, once you get money, prepare a budget before you earn. So that when the budget comes, when the money comes, you find that the budget has already indicated how money has been cascaded to be used. So, plan and say, if I'm going to buy a motorbike that is going to necessitate my movement, plan on it so that whenever you have time, you go for that which you needed first. Or else, if you don't do that, chances are you don't realize what you have always intended. Colleague teachers, I want to remind you that if you don't govern yourself financially well now, chances are that your non-governable behavior and attribute will compel you to be governed by those who have already known the game or the formula ahead of you. You will go to Shylocks who knew this game ahead of way far ahead of you, and then they will be swooping from you enough and exponential interests that will make you wither financially and economically, and then finally you'll have nowhere to get hold or grip. So it's my advice, because now I'm becoming old enough in this profession, that if you are young and got employed the other day, now shake the excitement and start planning on how you will take care of your finances. Ensure that if you don't take care of your finances, chances are that finances will take care of you in a bad way. So, what am I saying this evening from wherever I'm seated and standing? Plan and plan well. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. That is the old adage, of course. So ensure you plan, save in treasury bills, that is premium bonds, and also save in insurance. You can also save in the SACCO. The SACCO will help you after a long range of time to pay for even your school fees or pay for other bills which will require your attention. So if you save, for example, 10 years, by the time 10 years are done and you are saving just 3,000, a mere 3,000 shillings, you will be able in 10 years to have over 360,000. In some good circles, which have good interests, you will find yourself having up to a tune of 38, 40,000 in that 10 years. So if you get 30 or 40,000 or 42 or 45,000, whichever the way, because some circles have up to a rate of 12%. And then when you are saving, kindly go for a circle that has a good rate. You can go to Google. Dr. Google nowadays answers a lot of questions. You can ask the best circles in Kenya and how much percentage do they give. So go for those best circles, so that if you have your 100,000, you can be sure that by the end of the year, when dividends are being shared, I can be able to get at least 12,000 shillings. So that if they are taxed by our current government, you end up also getting like 10,000. So 10,000 is not small money when you are know such an amount. So suppose it is 360,000, which has been saved for, let's say, 10 years, because every year has got 12 months. 12 times 3,000, that is 360. So 360 times, not at 6, that 6 times 10, that is 360. Simple arithmetic. You will realize that you are developing your financial status. So if you have not saved, if you have not gone for an insurance, if you have not gone for a treasury bill, if you have not invested in a real estate or in rental, kindly think of doing something of that nature. So I wish you well, wherever you are, have it well. Remember, if it's your first time here, consider to subscribe. I'm yours, Okongo_1. From wherever you are, I want to thank you for the time you have taken to listen from me. May God bless you. Kindly meet me on another lesson, which I'll take you across on issues affecting humanity. God bless you.